In Taiwan, seals are very important and we use it almost every day. It tells a lot about your personality.
If you are in Taiwan, do not make the mistake of buying just any seal with your name on it, even if such a stamp looks like a really great souvenir. In fact, seals are extremely essential to Taiwanese culture. Let me show you what I mean in this video. Hello and welcome back to the Traveling Kunz YouTube channel. The lady you just saw is Sarah, and she gave me a crash course in Taiwanese name seals. And in this video, I want to pass that lesson on to you guys, so let's go. Seals are the real deal here in Taiwan. Most people get their first seal a few weeks after they are born, and sometimes parts of their umbilical cord are actually sealed within the stamp. But more about that later on. Sarah owns a seal shop, and I just came from there because I had to buy a new seal. She even allowed me to take a movie inside her shop. So I went back to my room, grabbed my equipment, and now we're gonna check out Sarah's stamp shop. So let's go. I found Sarah's shop on Google Maps because I really needed a name stamp. To open a bank account or sign other documents, I need to use my Mandarin name, and the seal makes these things a lot easier. Woo! I am now in the stamp shop here with Sarah. She agreed to give us a little introduction into the world of Taiwanese stamps. Sarah, are you ready to go?
Yes, let's go!
Let's go! Yay! Just that you know, you will see very little of Ferdinand in this video, as Sarah is running the show. And let me tell you, she knows her trade like no other.
Seals are used for many different use cases, and some for temples, some for business use, and some for personal use. And there are so many materials that you can use. Let me show you some examples.
The very first thing I saw were these massive seals in the window, and they are made of gems. They are not cheap and cost several hundred or even thousands of Taiwanese dollars. So where do we find these seals?
Those are the seals that you may find in a temple, and they always made by precious materials. For example, this is jadeite from Myanmar, and the shape is like a pigeon, which is mystical animals, and it represents good luck.
You should not use these for your personal name or your business. Instead, they represent deities or bodhisattvas, and Sarah has a lot of those in store.
And this is a dragon. Wow, this is very heavy. And this is made by white jade from Brazil, and it represents of power and authority.
There are more than 300 deities and even more precious stones, and Sarah has no problem naming all the backstories and the full supply chain for each stamp. I realized that I really had underestimated this whole seal game, and we are not done yet with the deities.
And next you can see this is dragon made by amethyst, and this is tiger made by jadeite, and this is dragon again made by nephrite. There are so many materials that you can use.
I really appreciate this crash course because I also realized that I would look like a fool if I used the wrong seal. So make sure if you buy a seal that you buy the right one.
We just saw some seals for temples and deities, which are always largest and precious. And we still have some smaller seals, which are for personal use and business use. Let's have a look.
Sarah told me that even the president of Taiwan has a special seal that is handed over when a new president takes office.
Here I have some examples for personal use and private use. Now you can see this tool was made by wood, and this tool was made by stone. And you will see very common in Taiwan with two shapes, one in round one and the other one in square one. And round one is always for liquid acid, and square one was always for real estate.
Taiwanese people can be a bit superstitious, and using the wrong material or the wrong shape for a stamp is considered bad luck. So when you stamp your wedding certificate or do business here, keep that in mind to avoid any potential issues.
After personal use, you will see the black one, and those are always with your title, like Nurse Sarah or Dr. Sarah. And the next you see, the yellow one is for company use. And if you have a bigger company or organization, you may use this one. And those are bigger and bigger.
Let's take a quick breath because this is a lot of information. Remember, my original intention was to buy a cheap seal for myself, which is obviously the wrong thing to do.
Okay. Now, I found this stuff super interesting, and I really hope that you like this video as well. If you do, please go down and hit that like button.
Let us now talk about the baby seals that we mentioned in the beginning. It really blows my mind that over here people use these seals to keep a piece of DNA of their offspring.
In Taiwan, there's a very important tradition. The parents will make a pair of seals to their newborn baby and will put the first hair of a baby into a seal and a piece of belly button, and we believe it brings good luck to the baby.
So getting a seal for your baby is really important, and I have to confess, yes, it is a bit odd to have a piece of umbilical cord on top of the seal. I do get the hair part, but still. I also should mention that actually a basic personal seal is not so expensive.
Now, to be honest, the seals over here are not really a lot more expensive than the cheapest one. However, if you live here for a while, things like the shape and the material tell a story, and you should be aware of this if you are using seals.
When it comes to budget, of course, the temple seals are at the higher end of the price range. But I also come to realize that personal seals in basic materials are not that expensive. But of course, there are also some luxury versions. I also should mention that the seal culture was brought to Taiwan from Japan.
Sarah just told me that the seals are really a Japanese thing. They are also used in China, but more on an organizational level. In Japan and in Taiwan, literally everyone has a seal, and most people have more than one.
I want to point out how astonished I am by Sarah. She is an extremely positive character and a great manager. She also frequently travels to trade shows and seal makers all around the world. I left the address of her store in Taipei in the description below, so make sure to check it out if you're in the area.
I was really surprised. I really just came here to look for a cheap stamp. I did not expect such an interesting history lesson. Still, I really think this is an amazing story, so if you come to Taiwan, check out the stamps. However, now it is time to wrap up this video. I really hope that you like it. Please hit that like button and of course subscribe to my channel. But otherwise, I hope to see you soon. Bye!